About this team, and he definitely feels like that they have a chance here to not only have a good game here but also a productive season.
When you lead the nation in three-point shooting, you always know you got a chance. They can shoot you in and shoot you out. So far this year, his guys been shooting them in.
We are underway at the JMA Wireless Dome. This historic rivalry continues on. Mintz, Girard, Bell, Williams, Edwards, the 5 for the Orange. We've won 4 in a row. Mintz.
When you watch Cornell play, you think a team that runs Princeton sets, they're not as physical defensively and get after you in pressure. They get after you on the defensive end. Pretty good possession there the first time on the defensive end of the floor.
Williams, Dolan, Gray, Boothby, and Hansen. The starting 5 for Brian Earl's Big Red. Dolan. Outside, Nazir Williams will try it and hit from 3.
Great sign. If you're a Cornell fan here, I mean, they're going to get a lot of threes up. I think the over-under, we joked about it. I said I think they'll get over 40 threes up tonight. And first shot, no surprise, for the nation-leading team in three-point attempts. First one's a 3. How about that?
Well, that's the thing. They're shooting them a lot, but they're making them too. 11 per game.
Yeah, they're just under... they're just under 12 a game. Second in the nation in three-pointers made.
There's another guy who can fill it up. Joe Girard knocking it down. The Glen Falls, New York product makes it a 3-2 game.
He's just such a big part of what Notre Dame needs to, Syracuse needs to do to get going. He's just a closer. He's a finisher for this group. He's the leader of these guys. And when he's scoring, it just takes that much pressure off all the other guys. Sight for Siraj. You want to see him make shots early, and he did that.
3-2 lead early on. 41 wins in a row for Syracuse in this series, as once again another 3 from Isaiah Gray. Those looks have been easy so far.
Yeah, surprisingly so. Syracuse usually just side-to-side movement. Getting that 3 at the top without getting inside is always been an adjustment, but this is the other area you got to watch out for.
2-on-1. Gray has trouble with the handle. Stuck in the lane. Outside to Boothby. He misses the rim. Mintz, and a foul coming up. This will be against Isaiah Gray.
Good foul by Gray there. His teammate fell down in the backcourt. Syracuse had numbers. There was no call here on the screen on Williams. And that's a great job by Syracuse when they're pressuring your point guard. Bigs always are taught to come back, set a screen, free up the ball handle.
Mintz gets the bucket as that one climbs up the rim and drops home.
Big didn't show on the ball screen. Allowed Mintz just to get downhill, get to the rim, and lay it up.
Feed down low. The layup is in from Sean Hansen. So Hansen, one of the productive players in this starting lineup for the Big Red, extends the lead out to 4.
You see Syracuse zone initially was so spread out because of the three-point shooting. They knocked down 2 threes. Then you get spread out and you give up a layup.
Oh, the follow jam off the miss by Bell. Benny Williams couldn't get that one to go. Oh, what a block on the other end as Dolan tried to lay it up. But Chris Bell said, I don't think so, my friend.
Bell comes in, have himself a block party here early. Great transition. Defense getting back. Cornell's going to try to beat the zone down. Great transition defense by Syracuse early.
It's Jesse Edwards, more so known for the most frequent shot blocker on this Syracuse team. There, an emphatic block by Bell as that pass is deflected out of bounds. Max Watson into the game for the Big Red. One of the signatures of Brian Earl. Lots of substitutions in and out throughout the game.
He's going to keep fresh bodies. They play. You won't see it as much tonight because they're playing against a zone, but they like to play with a lot of pace, a lot of cutting, a lot of movement. Now, you don't do as much of that against the Syracuse zone, but you'll see a lot of ball movement. And they got so many different shooters on the floor.
Guy Ragland in, Chris Mannon in as well. There's Mannon with the offensive rebound outside to Chris Kane.
nothing upsets Coach Boeheim even more than rebounding out of the zone. Most teams are afraid of it. As a staple in Syracuse's program is you have to rebound in their zone.
Dolan buries it. Greg Dolan shooting 58% from 3. He's the guy you have to watch, especially from behind the arc.
Well, after that make, it's 59 now. I'm pretty sure it's going down.
Yes.
That's just amazing to be that comfortable and in a zone like that. 59% is hard to do alone in the gym, let alone in a game.
Girard from the wing, he answers. So Girard with a 3 to cut it back to a 4-point game.
Good reject of the ball screen and pull up. I mean, he's not a 59% shooter, but he's definitely not a guy you want to leave open. Great reject of the ball screen, stop and pop there by Girard. Ball's moving really quickly against the zone. A lot of it's moving faster than North Syracuse can rotate.
The miss by Ragland. Mintz on the move. Bell looking for help. Top to Edwards. 11-7 lead so far for the Big Red as Mintz draws the foul. When we come back, it'll be time to remember a Syracuse legend.
Most likable guys, the most well-respected men you'll ever meet, and mentored players, his own, and so many young coaches as well.
And the words there from Jim Boeheim. It's important to note in that tweet, Louis Orr was his first recruit. And that shows you how impactful that has been to Jim Boeheim throughout his coaching career and what Louis Orr has meant to him.
I just couldn't imagine even what Coach Boeheim is dealing with today.
Feed down low from Mannon. And the foul off the shot attempt by Chris Kane.
It's got to be so hard for him. I mean, as someone that coach, you're so attached to your players, you just don't. They're like your children. You can never imagine burying them. Just my heart goes out to him today. It's just a lot to deal with.
And you think about the pillars of Syracuse basketball. There have been so many great players. You walk into this building and you see all of the banners and the legendary figures. Louis Orr is one of the original building blocks of this program.
Yes, for this program to reach the heights that it's reached under Coach Boeheim, he was the first recruit. And to get their jersey retired and have a heck of a career, 4 straight NCAA tournaments with the first group of recruits, and it started with Louis Orr.
Off the missed free throw attempts. Another rebound. A scramble for Cornell. Lobbed in down low as Kane drops it in. So Chris Kane missed a couple of free throws, redeems himself, and we will get a foul coming up off of the inbounds play. It'll be charged to Max Watson.
When a team shoots it as well as Cornell does, you're just so spread out. I think Syracuse now is just trying to figure out what do they take away. And they're trying to keep the ball out of the middle of the floor, around the free throw line. But then they're also trying to get out to those shooters. And that time, Cornell was able to throw it over the top for the lob.
Pressure here. Man-to-man shown by the Big Red, who lead it by 6, 13-7. Mintz lobs it up, no good. Off to Gray. Williams, who had a 3 earlier on. Outside, Williams from deep. Ragland offensive rebound. Another board for the Big Red. Mannon open. And a steal. Randolph, sometimes it looks like players, they don't quite know how this zone's moving, and it looks like they're open, but they don't realize it at times.
Well, again, this zone does move quite a bit. They're not just your traditional 2-3 zone. I often tell people this Syracuse zone is often imitated but never duplicated. You just don't know what they're going to do in it because they make adjustment within the game. And they're at their best when they force turnovers within their zone and get out, and the guards get out and get in transition.
The 3 from the top of the arc is in from Benny Williams. Much needed, as Cornell had built its largest lead of the game at 8. Now it's a 5-point game.
Benny Williams is adding that to his games. Just around 31% from 3, so for him it's good that he gets his first attempt to go in.
Ragland at the foul line. Good ball movement from Cornell. 7 to shoot. Outside. high arcing rainmaker three is in from Sean Hansen.
Those are the difficult shots that you deal with. I mean, you play great defense, and then for 28 seconds and 2 seconds left on the shot clock, someone throws up a three. But that was one of the better defensive efforts I thought Syracuse had in their zone.
Girard trying to back down the defender, and a foul coming up off the shot attempt by Jesse Edwards, as Edwards will go to the line for a pair of free throws.
That's Gray's second foul. I think he's going to have to come out.
We have a college basketball doubleheader Wednesday night right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 24, Virginia Tech, is in Chestnut Hill to take on Boston College in our first game at 6:30 Eastern. Then Florida State hosts Notre Dame in Tallahassee. These are the final games before the holiday break. So plenty of hoops action headed your way along the ACC Network.
This Syracuse team went in and Notre Dame and got their only ACC win so far the early in the season. It started the turnaround of this 4-game winning streak for them.
Edwards can't get that one. Ball knocked out of bounds over to Cornell.
Girard really is getting it going this early, trying to keep this team in this game early. I think the last play, just great playing in the post, spin it off, finding Edwards, and drawing the foul, getting him to the line. When you're attacking this zone, you want to try to, you're swinging it around. You can't just move it around the three-point line. As well as Cornell shoot it, you got to penetrate somewhere, try to get it to the free throw line, or just throw it over the top like that.
And that is a goaltend. So once again, Hansen able to take advantage, and it looks like they found something there over the top.
Well, they're shooting, and usually at the free throw line area, that's usually the center, and Edwards is there, and it's a lot of communication from their forwards on who's going to take away that lob. And they've gotten that twice already, so I'm sure Boeheim, they're going to make some adjustments.
Amir Torrance into the game for the Orange. Down low to Edwards, having trouble with that ball. Turn it over. Dolan trying to shake free from Torrance, and a foul coming up against Torrance. That'll be team foul number 3 against the Orange.
So important Syracuse does not turn the basketball over, because this team wants to play fast. They want to get in transition and shoot threes as quickly. Coach told us before, he wants to play like the old Loyola Marymount. But some of the young folks don't understand. No one played as fast a pace of shooting threes as they did. And this Cornell team is just a dangerous team because of the way they shoot the three-pointer with that length and speed that they play with.
He talked about how that pace and tempo came about by virtue of COVID and social distancing protocols. Again, remember, the Ivy League basically skipped a season in 2020-21. So they have plenty of time to reflect and try to build the offense. Boothby 3 rattles out, tipped around, grabbed by Girard.
They're getting their hands on a lot of balls. Right now, Syracuse defense is just so spread out because so many guys can shoot it.
Girard nearly stripped. Feed down low, flip to the rim, loose, the battle, and it'll head out of bounds. It'll stay with the Orange.
Cornell off to a sharp start, just heard him shooting the three, getting lobs inside, just doing a little bit of everything. Got Syracuse off guard as the Big Red's up 9 early here in the first half.
With the award-winning Geico mobile app,
ACC Network Basketball is presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. As we get a look at the history and some of the historical photos of Cornell versus Syracuse, how about that plaid jacket by Coach Boeheim?
I think you ought to bring it back out, man. That's a good time. He looked good at that.
That's looking sharp.
Not a lot of people can pull that off. Coach Boeheim's, I think he pulled that off.
That last shot you saw there, the battle of the Boeheims, Buddy and Jimmy in 2019, 127. That's the number of meetings all time between these two programs. The first meeting back in 1900. 41 straight wins for the Orange. They're down by 9 right now to Cornell out of the Ivy League.
Syracuse is going to have to pick things up on this end of the floor in their zone. They've given up 4 threes. They've given up also 8 points in the paint.
Watson can't hit. Strong rebound by Benny Williams.
And not rebounding well out of it to start either. They've given up 3 offensive rebounds already. So they're going to have to start taking things away.
Big Red 4 of 9 from 3 after that miss by Watson. Williams with a drop for Girard.
Girard's drawing a lot of attention. They're hedging him hard, coming out off ball screens. They're not going to give him any open looks. Everyone else, they're scheming. They're backing off a little bit, but they're really up hard and close into Girard.
1 to shoot. Missing the shot was Girard. Loose. Dolan in the mix.
Find the shooters. Find the shooters if you're Syracuse.
Ragland from deep. Tipped around, out of bounds. Cornell basketball. Marcus Fillion in for the Big Red.
Coach Boeheim is not happy with his group again. Another offensive extra possession there. They're not rebounding out of the zone. You know Cornell's going to take shots, but when they take those threes, you got to rebound it. He hasn't been happy with his club's rebounding all year.
Dolan now manning for the baseline. Manning finds room, misses the rim. Loose ball taken away by Torrance. Torrance, and that's going to be a blocking foul against Guy Ragland Jr.
You notice that possession, Syracuse trapped the short corner, and they want to stop you from throwing the ball down there. So whenever that ball goes into the post in that short corner, they're going to trap you. And most teams, that's just a great pass out of the trap, skip it across to a shooter. Most teams aren't able to make that pass. That's the one pass they'll leave. It's just a difficult pass over that length to do time and time again, but Cornell was able to execute it that time. So let's see if they stop trying to throw it in that short corner.
One thing to be concerned about here on the Big Red side, 5 team fouls midway through half one. Torrance trying to attack the baseline, feeds it outside. Gets it back from Mintz. Shot clock to 7. 4 to shoot. Down to 2. Torrance got it.
Can't be afraid. I thought he was open early in the shot clock. Turned down one. Didn't turn that over. They're keying on certain guys, Girard and their shooters. They're leaving the guys they deem non-shooters open. They got to step up and take and make shots.
Manning, the dish, and the layup is missed by Hansen. He got it back, though, somehow. Boothby 3. That's good.
Coach Boeheim, again, another offensive rebound. Again, they're just not rebounding against the zone. You can't give up threes on offensive rebound. That time a missed layup. They got lucky with that. Gave up another offensive rebound.
Boothby shot 48% from 3 last year. That would have been best in the nation, but he was a few made threes per game away from qualifying.
He's a career 43% three-point shooter. So, guy shoots it that well for his career. You definitely need to know where he is at all times. But you see, they're so spread out right now because of their ability to shoot the ball. They're just looking around, looking at each other, thinking, I can't leave my area because I got a shooter there. And great start by Cornell.
The Manning bucket extends the lead to 11. The Cornell Big Red in control early. More from Syracuse in a moment.
Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around. Lips are burning.
Geico. Over 85 years of savings and service.
What if you were a global bank who wanted to crunch billions of transactions against thousands of compliance controls? So you tap IBM to unsilo your data. And now you can supercharge your audit system with AI. Let's create smarter ways of putting your data to work. IBM.
Third game this season for the Cornell Big Red against the ACC. And Randolph, they have come very close to knocking off a pair of ACC teams.
They have, and they've played really, really well. And then, they're unafraid, they're unbothered. They're going to play the way they want to play in their pace, and they want to play fast. And they will play even quicker this. They get after you, and you see the full court pressure now. They're just such a unique and difficult team. They play, not many teams in college basketball play like this. They pressure, they get after you, they run and jump. Now that they'll fall back into man-to-man. On the offensive end, they'll shoot it quick. They'll run their Princeton sets. They're just a difficult team to match up with.
That includes their last game, which was against Miami back on December 7th. They lost 107-105, and that's a loose ball foul coming up against Monir Hima.
That's like an 80s NBA score there. I mean, you don't see that type of score in college athletics. It's not overtime, but there's just two high-powered offensive teams, and that Miami team is really, really good. And they gave Miami all they wanted.
And this is a big opportunity, without a doubt, for the Ivy League, because the Ivy League trying to defeat an ACC team, we don't sometimes think about ramifications of things in December.
Yes.
But this is an important time of year in these non-conference matchups.
Well, you're building your resume. Right, wrong, or indifferent, November and December are big as far as your March resume. And, winning your league and getting non-conference or out-of-conference games, wins is just not an easy thing to do. And let's be honest, it just gives you bragging rights.
Turnover committed there by the Big Red. I believe Cooper Nord stepped out of bounds on the sideline on that 3 attempt. Girard leaning in and scoring.
Girard's going to need some help. I mean, he's been the entire Syracuse offense to this point.
So Girard with 7. The Orange down by 9. Backdoor feed to Hansen, and again, Mannon with that passing, able to beat that zone defense. 9-point lead for the Cornell Big Red. Stay tuned. More in a moment on the ACC Network. Randolph Childress back with you in Syracuse, New York. The three-point shooting certainly a major storyline in this game, and just look at the difference between last season and this season. Both teams going in opposite directions.
I mean, Syracuse had a three-headed monster shooting threes a year ago and all shooting 40% or better. For Cornell, it's just even more guys. They got about 5 or 6 guys shooting it from behind the arc, and just their style of play, just giving everybody a tough fit. And they lead the nation in three-point shooting, as we said. And Syracuse has lost the Buddy brothers Boeheim brothers, and Girard's here and off to a good start himself. I mean, he's doing all he can offensively to keep his team in it, but he's going to have to find someone else is going to have to get involved in this game on the offensive end for Syracuse to help him out.
Unforced error there as Mannon's pass ended up out of bounds, intended for Cooper Nord. 9-point lead here.
This is the guy that needs to get going. I think he needs to keep it and get a little bit more selfish inside. Great job going to the glass.
Off the Williams miss, Edwards able to draw a foul there. And again, the rebounding could be key in this game, and Edwards trying to establish control.
He got it in the post there. I thought he skipped it prematurely. Make the help come before he skips it. But again, great sign of a big man. You don't always have to get the ball to score. He goes off the glass to get his shot and drew a foul there.
Nice inbounds play, and the drop and the bucket for Malik Brown. And a near steal. Mannon able to keep it under control. Mannon outside. Boothby 3. No good. Watson offensive rebound. Boothby tries it again from deep. That's no good. Mannon tries to track it down. He can't. Instead, it's Brown. 7-point game with 7 minutes left to go before halftime. Girard over Mannon. Connects.
He's in a zone right now. He's really feeling it. Knocks down another perimeter jump shot tonight. He's this afternoon, he's really feeling it and just needs to get some other help.
An air ball from Williams. But again, able to get the loose ball. Mannon drives in and lays it in. Chris Mannon got a seam and got a bucket. 6-point lead for the Big Red.
Coach Boeheim's upset with Brown. He wanted him to rotate over. Edwards did a great job of running out to the corner, challenged a three-point shot, and no one helped him and gave up a layup. I think he just needs to be patient in there. They're concerned with his size.
Girard now outside. Mintz. He misses. Tipped around. Right into the hands for Brown and a dunk.
Taking open shots, getting to the offensive glass with their size. They're the bigger team. They're the more athletic team. They should be the team winning on the offensive glass, and they're going to need to do so as they've done now to get themselves back in the game here.
Watson. Corner 3 misses. Edwards rebound. Out to Girard. 2-on-2 basketball. Girard driving to the rim. Some contact perhaps. No call. Booze raining down at the Dome. Boothby can't get that shot to drop as Coach Boeheim very displeased with that lack of a call. Mintz scoop layup, catches underneath the rim. Watson back down the floor. Boothby with room. Stops. Outside to Manning.
This is the pace Cornell wants to play at.
Hanson. Watson. Bucket.
This is the pace. Just the up and down as quickly as they get it. If they can shoot it in 5 or 6 seconds, they will. And Syracuse wants to control the pace a little bit more. But again, someone else besides Girard is going to have to step up because Cornell shoots you great, but they can shoot themselves into a slump. And right now they're missing a couple threes, and you want to attack the glass when you can.
Tomorrow, our women's basketball quadruple header starts at noon Eastern with Wake Forest Syracuse. Then Louisville takes on Pitt at 2 p.m. After that, it's a top 10 matchup between number 5 Notre Dame and number 6 Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. And 8th-ranked North Carolina State hosts Clemson to cap the day. What a full day and evening of hoops on ACC Network.
That Notre Dame-Virginia Tech matchup is going to be great. 56 ranked teams in the country there.
Bell can't hit on the three. Girard misses. Ragland rebound. Randolph, you surprised that Cornell's been able to hang in there on the glass?
I am, because you just would assume that Syracuse and their size. Would just overwhelm them. But again, this is an experienced group of guys. I mean, this team they've played against Syracuse. There's a bunch of juniors and seniors in the starting lineup. So this is their 3rd and 4th time playing this matchup. Again, they played 2 ACC teams earlier. They felt as though they could have won. This team thinks they should be undefeated. They lost both of those games by 2 points. So they've come in here with a lot of confidence. You can see it right now.
Second foul on Bell. Ragland 3, short. Bell with a loose ball. So Bell has 2 fouls. 5 committed by Syracuse as a team in this first half with 4 minutes left to go. Mintz, he can't hit from deep. His struggles in the half continue.
3-point shooting is just not his strength. He's at 17% coming in. What range.
That's a deep 3 from Nazir Williams.
He shot that from Cornell. I mean, what range on that. This is a comfortable group. Confident, made their 6th 3 of the night. Girard's the only offense that Syracuse has the answer, but so many guys he's shooting against. It's a great matchup here. Big Red versus the Orange. Syracuse down 9 early.
And it's been a tough go for Jesse Edwards in this first half. 1 point, 4 rebounds. He's on the bench right now, and Randolph, he has not been able to get going in this game.
Yeah, I think Coach Boeheim is a little disappointed in his rebounding. I think him controlling the paint right now, there's been some miscues and Cornell's ability to take advantage of it and get to the glass is disappointing him a little bit. They're going to need him to get going and get going. If he sits the rest of this half, definitely get him going in the second half.
And 1 for Judah Mintz.
And he's the guy. He's definitely capable of one-time freshman of the week already in the ACC. Looking for another. Leading this team in assists, averaging 15 and 4 right now. And he's the most likely candidate right now with Jesse Edwards not scoring much in the offensive foul. You see Girard there talking to him, telling him to be really aggressive.
Pass off the hands of Phil in and a steal. Six-point game with Mintz. Picking his way to the lane, throws it up and in. What a move by Judah Mintz. Starting to heat up. 4-point lead.
You can see now the defensive intensity picking up now. They're pressuring the ball a little bit. Now, and look how far out. They're catching at the logo at half court now to get that reversal.
Gray from the corner drills it. Isaiah Gray with a 3-pointer. And once again, the Big Red able to counter a bucket from Syracuse at a critical moment.
From Girard, I go out Gray here. Gray has 2 fouls. I know he doesn't want to pick up the second. He's a really strong, physical kid. You want to attack him. I don't think he'd risk picking up the 3rd foul. They switched off of him now.
Gray has 8, by the way, for Cornell. Girard inside of the foul line, and a foul coming up against Nazir Williams.
Great patience by Girard. He's driving, spin move, shot fake. Sees Williams with his arms straight out, just jumps up, attempts to shoot with his arms down and draws contact. Just experience and a vet.
1-on-1 situation. As Girard knocks down the first. 1-on-1 situation moving forward, so at least a bonus here. The remaining 2:23 for Syracuse. By the way, we were talking about the struggles of Jesse Edwards. How about the 2 leading scorers for these 2 teams heading into this game? Edwards averaging over 15 points per game. Dolan's averaging over 13 points per game. They've combined for just 4 points total in this first half.
But we've talked about the different scores as well. I mean, Jesse Edwards is a double-double guy. He's the biggest advantage because we don't think Cornell had anyone inside to guard him. But let's make no mistake about it. This team goes if Girard takes it. And right now, he's the reason they're still in this game and only down 6 points.
Fillion down low. Hansen lost a grip on the ball. Out of bounds. Syracuse possession.
That's what you want to see out of Syracuse. You're used to that length. You know, when you pass the ball in there like that, Benny Williams coming down with his size and athleticism to block the shot and forces a turnover down the baseline.
Bell into the front court. Girard against Dolan. Under 2 minutes left to go, first half. Cornell has carried the action for much of the half here.
Girard's drawing so much attention.
Bell with a contested 3 over Keller Boothby to draw it within 1 possession. It's a 3-point game.
Bell's a streaky shooter. Great sign if you're an Orangeman fan for him to get going there.
And a near steal, and it's a turnover.
You see shots are falling when you got a young team. You see shots are falling. Bell's doing it on the defensive end and on the offensive end here. Just sizes this defender up, raises up, shoots the 3.
He had 3 straight games in November where he scored double figures, but offensively he's been a little hit and miss so far, but he's been hitting so far in this first half.
Just what you go through the growing pains of a freshman.
Bell's shot rattles out. Watson rebound.
Shots are going in for the Orangemen, so that defensive intensity now is picking up, which is, again, when you got a lot of young defenders on the floor, that basketball tend to give you energy on the offensive end.
Supersized 3 from Watson, no good. The follow is from Keller Boothby. Another offensive rebound for the Big Red. Girard got it.
Heat check. Girard's on fire right now.
1-point game, 37-36. Girard has 15 as Brian Earl wants to call a timeout.
Girard has put the Orangeman on his back with 15 first half points, bringing his team back from a double-digit lead. I mean, he's just feeling it right now. He doesn't want to screen. He just sizes up, raises up, pulls it. Deep range shooter. It's like, we're not going anywhere. We own this I-81 rivalry here.
Look, I mean, Girard is a player who in high school had games where he would score 50 and 60 points.
Yeah.
And thus far, he's been sharp in this first half.
But I think he's made the adjustment. The biggest adjustment for him is last year you schemed Buddy Boeheim and you just defended him normally. Now he's the focal point. You're scheming him. I think that's why he struggled early. He's figured some things out. And I think you've seen the reason his offensive output has just increased these last 4 or 5 games, and that's why they're on a 4-game winning streak coming in, because of him. And he's shown that he can carry the load. He's eventually going to need some help, but right now he's showing that, hey, just figure it out. We got a whole nother half of basketball to play. I got you this first half. Cornell with their use or lose timeout in the first half. And again, they're forcing the ball, trying to get to that free throw line. Everybody knows the key to against any zone, and especially the Syracuse zone, is getting it around the free throw line.
Dolan with 2 to shoot. Gonna have to let it go. He does. does not beat the clock. So they wore that shot clock down and ran out of time.
That's the effort defensively you're accustomed to seeing. It happens quite frequently in that zone. But I know Coach Earl has to be disappointed coming out of a timeout. Poor execution by Cornell.
They led by as much as 11, and that lead has been whittled down to a point. Bell, and a foul that will put Bell to the free throw line for 1-and-1. So Fillion knocks Bell down, and that draws the whistle.
It's a bad foul there. You don't want to commit a foul there by Fillion. 1 point lead, you want to defend and got to know shot foul situation, and now you go from playing defense and up one to putting Bell at the line for a 1-and-1 here.
This is Bell's 5th free throw attempt of the season. He doesn't get to the line much, and he's tied it up at 37. And if he can hit this free throw, it would put Syracuse out in front for the first time today. He misses. 7 seconds left for Dolan.
Had a foul to give, so.
And that's something to note. You will see teams do that. Now they don't have much rope left with 16 fouls to make things harder for the other team.
Well, he went after the ball. He went after the steal aggressively. If not, they don't call a foul, he gets a layup.
Watson, 1 to shoot, gonna have to let it go, and that is it for the first half. So tough execution there by Cornell to end the first half.
Big contradiction to half. Syracuse started out so slow, picked it up late in the second half. Defensive intensity picked up, bought themselves the game. Now we got ourselves a game here in JMA Wireless Domes.
From Isaiah Gray, 3 of 3 from the field with 8 points. Ballard scoring from the Big Red. Meanwhile, Joe Girard, 3rd, 15 points. We'll see what second half action has in store as we're back underway. Down low, Hansen, the kick, foul line J is short from Nazir Williams, and a rebound taken by Edwards. Bell, Euro in the lane, lays it in, and the Cuse on top for the first time today.
That's the Syracuse basketball you're accustomed to seeing. Rebounding, outletting to the wings and the guards, getting down. In the past, they've done a really good job of scoring in transition like you see there.
Boothby, Rainmaker 3 is short. Edwards rebound. So they're getting the attempts they'd like, but the shot's not falling now from deep for the Big Red.
Shots hadn't consistently fell tonight, which helped them and kept them, got the lead for them was the offensive rebounding. You know, they had 10 offensive rebounds there in the first half. And against the zone, you don't want to give up that many rebounds in a half. You know, in a game, let alone a half. And they've just been so spread out by the shooting of Cornell. But they seem to have made the adjustments on the defensive end. We talked about that. You know, that's the adjustments of this defense. They don't just play. That's what makes the Syracuse zone unlike any zone in the country. They make adjustments within that zone. If they like now they're trying to take away the lob, getting to the corner threes. They do as much movement and scouting within that zone as anybody that actually plays zone defense.
Couple of free throws from Girard. That's the 3rd foul against Nazir Williams. Boothby. Now all of a sudden, the Big Red find themselves in a 4-point hole.
And now the ball is just moving around the perimeter. It's got to get to that spot right there.
Williams down to 7 to shoot. The reverse layup is blocked by Edwards, the ACC's best in that department. Down low for Williams, and a blocking foul on the way. And it just feels like the momentum of this game has gotten away a little bit from Cornell.
Well, Syracuse is also using their size and athleticism. You know, the shot blocking there. That's what you're accustomed to seeing from Syracuse bigs, just controlling the paint.
Girard Step back on Dolan. Boothby with the board.
It's a heat check shot there. He's been so hot the first half.
Gray, and that ball knocked away from him near side by Mintz. It'll stay with the Big Red. Syracuse entering this game on a 4-game winning streak. Cornell had a finals break after their game against Miami, the 2-point loss. Williams' three is good. Nazir Williams cans a 3-pointer. That's a 1-point game in favor of Syracuse.
It's gotten off early. Good look again. Trying to get that ball in the middle of that zone. When it does, you don't have long to get ready to shoot. That time his feet were set. Williams knocked down another 3.
Down low, Edwards, turnaround shot, flips it up and in.
All day. Been waiting on him to get that done in the second half. There's no one on this roster to guard him. If he decides to get in the paint, get deep, no one on this roster can bother his hook shot.
Boothby tries a 3. That's no good. The rebound taken by Edwards. Cornell trying to do something they haven't done in about 60 years, and that's beat an ACC team. Their last win against an ACC team came in the 51-52 season against Wake Forest as Williams goes glass to extend the lead out to 5.
Williams with the bank shot, getting himself going. Quick 3 here.
Whoa, a quick 3, a long 3, and a good 3 for Nazir Williams.
Some of you may think that's a bad shot, but if Syracuse was in man-to-man, those are the shots that they would take, and I think coach is just trying to emphasize not only offensive end in front of their bench. I think he's going to tell his guys, we got to pick up the pace a little bit here. Syracuse kind of slowed them down a little bit.
A deflection and a steal. Gray. Hansen swings it to Dolan. Williams open from deep. Missed it. Hansen tried to tip it back in. Instead, Edwards with a loose change.
That's the biggest difference so far in this second half. 0 offensive rebound. That's the closest that they've come to getting their hands on one. Edwards has to continue to man the paint, control the paint.
And that's a challenge. You don't want a lot of one-and-dones against a Syracuse team.
And it's frustrating at times playing against a team that wants to control the pace of the game.
Mintz too strong on the shot. Foul coming up, and this will be charged to the Big Red. And I believe Greg Dolan. So that's number 1 on Dolan. 3 substitutions in for the Big Red. Watson, Mannon, and Ragland back in. As Gray, along with Hansen and Boothby, will sit.
I think some of what's going on with Dolan as well is he's having to guard Girard or Judah Mintz. And it's just guarding talented offensive players like that. Benny Williams with the dunk. Pass from the not many centers can drive and kick and pass to a teammate for a dunk.
Ragland misses the 3. And another defensive rebound for the Orange, who lead it by 4.
But Dolan having to guard Girard or Judah Mintz here is just giving him taking his legs from under him, and he's not able to make shots.
Blocked by Ragland ushers us to a break. 4-point lead for the Orange.
Not many centers in the country that can catch the ball there. Edwards here, the jump hook. Follows that up with a drive baseline kick, passing to Benny Williams for the dunk. Cuse taking control of the second half, up 4.
With the award-winning Geico mobile app.
We were asked to make some predictions on how many 3-point attempts we thought Cornell would make. Reminder, they're averaging 32 per game. I said 25. Randolph said 40. We've got a bet for Dinosaur Barbecue on the line.
We do.
Let's see where we're at here.
That brisket's looking really good right now. I'm not a cheap date, so I can imagine.
Not looking good for me.
No, it's not.
9 of 28 go the Big Red so far from deep.
A lot of time left, man. 15:36 to get 12 more. I like my odds. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
So do we do whoever's closest to the number wins? I mean, I would think so.
I mean, if the game stopped right now, yeah, but unfortunately we got 15:36 to play, and I like my odds. So the only question you need to ask is that Jesse Edwards gets checked to see if his nose is bleeding. The only question you got to ask is, man, do they have good wine over there? I don't know. I mean, Well, I'm not a cheap date, my friend. I hate to do that to you.
Yeah,
Man,
well,
I can't turn down good barbecue and a good meal.
Unless we see the amongst the greatest performances of all time on the defensive end in the next 15 minutes, I'm in deep trouble. Girard throws into Williams. To the wing. Bell dipping in, and it's an offensive foul against Chris Bell.
Great job stepping in by Ragland.
Number 3 on Bell.
I thought Bell had the shot initially. He had the one dribble pull up there, or maybe he thought he was a little deeper. Great job. Way to step up with your chest and take a charge there.
Cornell trying to turn the tide on a lot of rough statistical numbers in this series, including being 1-28 all time in the Dome. They were out in front by 11 at one point in this first half, and now a tie-up between Manning and Brown. And that jump ball call works in favor of Syracuse.
Malik Brown brought effort when he checked in the first half and chipped in with 4 points and really acted on the defensive end. In his very first possession, he comes in the second half, gets a tie-up. I mean, he's using his length and athleticism, but he's really getting after to bring some energy to the Syracuse defense.
In their 15-point win against Monmouth, Brown had career highs in scoring and rebounding, 11 and 7 in the win over the Hawks. Mintz, turnaround Jay, off the mark.
Got to get back and set your defense. They're going to come right at you here.
Watson 3, long miss, taken by Mintz in the orange. Edwards, by the way, has gone to the back to get looked at further as a foul picked up here off the drive by Girard.
Girard, just a tough matchup for these guys. He's just super aggressive, gets in the paint, drawing contact, doing a great job, getting to the free throw line tonight. I mean, this afternoon. I mean, he's already shot forward. He's a guy you don't want to foul.
Girard's strong performance continues as Marcus Fillion heads back into the game. The foul was charged to Guy Ragland Jr. Girard looking for point 19. He has a 6-point lead for the Orange.
He's almost automatic from the free throw line. I mean, he's shooting 81% coming into tonight and this afternoon, and I think those numbers will rise throughout the year. It would shock me if he shot over 90.
Backdoor feed and a steal off the pass from Manning. Tried to get it to Fillion. And now we're going to foul the other way against Manning, trying to deal with Judah Mintz. So a rough sequence there for Chris Manning.
Second time today that they had a bad foul, I thought, in the backcourt. They did it right before the end of the first half, and that one was a shooting foul, a 1-and-1. This one's not, but you don't want to put a team in a bonus really early, committing fouls.
Oh, Mintz stumbling there a bit. And another foul coming up against Manning. And he is on his way to the bench. That's number 3 on Chris Manning.
Something must have upset him because he had to foul. He was asking for the next one and didn't improve with the first foul, but kind of begging, getting super aggressive, asking for the next one, and the officials obliged him.
16 fouls already for Cornell as Bell continues his strong play. The lead is at 9 after the Bell 3, a 7-0 run for Syracuse. Williams can't answer. Loose ball to the Cornell bench, over to Syracuse.
Just a great shot. We talked about Bell. I mean, he's streaky and he's gotten it going. He's been aggressive and confident and stepping up and taking and making shots. And now Cuse is starting to get some help. Here's another look.
Bell again. That one misses, barely.
Great penetration by Girard. He has it going, but gave an extra pass to his teammate.
Dolan still trying to find some room. Wide open in the corner. Williams can't hit. Rebound taken by Williams, deflected and stolen by Fillion.
They're going to keep shooting them.
Watson, he can't hit there. Loose, tracked down, saved to Williams.
Now this is what you can't have if you're Syracuse defense, because eventually they're going to make something. You're giving up 4 or 5 offensive rebounds in this possession alone.
Ragland staying alive, blocked at the rim by Brown. So a flurry of three-point attempts by the Big Red does not net a bucket. Instead, it's another possession for Syracuse, holding 9. Girard, the feed, Bell, trying to get in the double figures, hangs in the air, can't score. Loose, taken by Ragland.
They're not going to call it on a defensive foul when it's contact if you run and jump into the big like that.
Dolan with the offensive rebound from the Watson miss.
Cornell's going cold from behind the line here.
And a steal by Girard, 3-on-1. The lob and the hit.
Shooter Mitch, the freshman from Gonzaga High School in D.C., showing you his hops.
11-point lead for Syracuse. Timeout, Big Red. Of the 1 hour show begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Back inside the JMA Wireless Dome. And it has been a tough time shooting the rock for Cornell from deep. They have struggled mightily from 3, especially in this second half. They struggled from the field mightily in total in the second half as well.
Yeah, 2 of 18 from the floor. I mean, credit to Syracuse defense. This zone has gotten active. They're getting steals. They're limiting. You know, they had one bad possession where they gave up maybe 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, literally in one possession. Since then, they've done a really good job.
Nice look down low and a layup for Sean Hansen. They were able to hit that play a couple of times in the first half. They do it here to cut it to a 12-point game.
Yeah, if you can help it, you try to, in the past, you wanted to try to run that play against the smaller of the wings. And with Benny Williams on one side and Malik Brown there. It's Benny on cue. Must have heard me talking about him. Gets another mid-range turnaround jump shot there. And young guys are starting to chip in here. We talked about someone else needed to step into the game and help Girard out, and everybody's doing their part here.
And we'll have a kick ball here as Jesse Edwards set to make his way back into the game. And Edwards, one of those players who the productivity has increased here in the second half, and that has really helped establish control.
You see the bench stand up when he comes out. The defensive effort has picked up both halves when he's entered the game, and credit to him. A lot of his stats aren't showing up as statistical stats, but his energy and effort on the defensive end is one of the reasons that the Orangemen have a lead.
If you're just joining us, it's been a tale of 2 halves as Gray and Mannon head back in for the Big Red. Cornell led for just over 19 minutes in the first half. Syracuse never led. And in this second half, it's been the opposite. Syracuse has pretty much led most of the way here in the second half. Cornell has not been able to seize control again. Oh, Girard gambling there, nearly came up with a steal. Down low, Hansen trying to get it to Dolan. Dolan only 3 shots from the field in this game. The team's leading scorer
right now. Look how active they are, getting deflections. I mean, this is not the same zone we saw in the first half, and they are really getting after Cornell right now on the defensive end.
Mintz slips and a travel.
Maybe a little too deep for the freshman on this penetration. You see Bayheim telling him to calm down, young fella, calm down, slow down.
We haven't talked about that much in this game so far. This is one of the younger teams for Syracuse and in the country, for that matter.
They got some length, they got some experience, and Edwards on cue was a senior lead in this group, and we talked about Girard, and the other guys are just sophomores and freshmen, so.
Girard can't get that one. Mannon. The feed, Gray's open, but lost the ball. He was underneath the rim, but didn't put it up.
That's because Jesse Edwards standing right there, and he didn't want to start the break because had he went up and shot that, I think that would have been Jesse Edwards would have been able to block that with his elbow.
He's the ACC leader in block shots. He's got it here. Throwing it down.
They're just doing it. They're just picking back up. They didn't go to him early. They're making a concerted effort to get him the ball in the second half. Critical moment right now in the game for Cornell. They're not shooting it great. You just got to continue to take shots. This team has been down before.
They were down by 21 against Miami before storming back, and they had a shot to potentially tie the game or win it late. Mintz lobs it again. Wow! A powerhouse dunk from Jesse Edwards off the lob.
Edwards has announced to himself that he has arrived this afternoon.
Into Hansen. Throw it away.
Called a foul.
Now, the officials are getting together, and yes, there will be a foul called. The near side official pointed that it was going to be Syracuse basketball, but a foul was called.
I think they're trying to look to see if there's a shooting foul. He was looking to pass. I think he knew Edwards was coming and tried to pass. They're looking on the monitor to see if it's 2 shots or underneath. Yeah. Yeah. It's a non-shooting foul.
There'll be a side out here coming up. Watson, corner 3, that rattles out. And a hold will be called here on Edwards of Syracuse.
Edwards done a great job of controlling the paint. I think he heard Coach Boeheim's message early, who sat him down, and he did do so in the first half. And Cornell's going to continue to shoot these threes.
What a run put together by Syracuse. 18-2. Cornell has missed 15 of the last 16 shots. Shot clock down to 5. Gray now to Ragland. Step back 3. Missed it. Manning. Lost the ball. Edwards. Now over to Mintz. Another possession for Syracuse, aided by a turnover, courtesy of Cornell. Bell. Jumper, knocks it down.
Smooth mid-range jump shot there. Just getting to his spots, playing off that three-point shot. Just knocked down a couple threes tonight. You got to respect it. Shoots his rhythm mid-range shot. Looks good coming out of his hands.
He's got 11. Gray. He can't end the drought. Edwards tied up, and a jump ball called. It will be a Cornell possession out of the break. A 20-point lead, in part helped by Jesse Edwards.
Edwards just picking it up on both ends of the floor. Here he catches the post, goes up, slams, and finishes. Just dominating this second half, helping Cuse to get up by 20 here.
I think maybe you just needed a Snickers.
No one will ever forget what they just saw.
Derek Jones and Randolph Childress here with you in Syracuse, New York. Jesse Edwards has been a big part of the second half, but Randolph, how about the progression he's made throughout his career, the leap last year, and now in his senior year, double-double machine?
I thought his injury last year derailed him. I thought he was on pace to get the most improved player in the conference a year ago, and he's still improving on those numbers now, averaging a double-double. And he's just been nothing short of great for this team, and maybe their best player.
Off the miss. Cornell able to get the ball back. Williams, he can't hit. Those shooting woes continue. Out of bounds, and it'll stay with Cornell as we approach 7.5 minutes left to go, as Girard appears to be holding his hand there.
I think the most important thing about that last possession was that was the 41st three-point shot, which means I need to start. Where's my computer? I need to start looking at dining options and beverages here for my dinner.
I may have been floated a barbecue suggestion. So, yes, it looks like you've grabbed the dub on that friendly wager.
Yeah.
3 to shoot. 1 to shoot for Dolan. Missed it. Manning gets it back. To Cutting Williams. His floater's no good. Dolan. Now Manning from deep. That's good.
That's just the basketball guys. We're finally rewarding Cornell for continuing to compete and get on the offensive glass.
They had missed 9 straight shots, and 21 of their last 22 shots before that one from Manning.
And I know this sounds crazy, but this game is far from over. This team is so dangerous because of the amount of players that can make shots for them. And when you're up big this time, you find yourself trying to milk time and run clock. And this is a team that's very comfortable shooting in 5 seconds or 8 seconds. And can't take your foot off the gas if you're Syracuse at all.
By the way, that foul charged to Chris Manning, that's his 4th. So Bell on the side of Syracuse and Manning on Cornell, each with 4 fouls. Just under 7 minutes left to go. And 1 out of 2. 66-48 lead for the Orange. Williams gets a step. The floater is blocked by Jesse Edwards. 31 blocks on the season heading into this game. An emphatic one there.
I mean, he rotates over and nearly gave someone a concussion. He blocked that so hard in this game. I mean, that ball came out looking like a fastball coming out of there. I mean, it has some heat on it. Looked like the fans were okay over there. They're joking and laughing about it.
1 to shoot, and the shot is in. As Marcus Fillion able to connect to cut it to a 16-point game. Second block shot of the game, by the way, for Edwards. Williams speeding ahead, tried to squeeze that one in, deflected. Outside, Girard 3. Missed it. Loose. Williams had a hand on it over to Cornell. Quadir Copeland is in. While Symir Torrance back in the flow for the Orange.
They're giving Girard a break here. If you're Cornell, this is your chance. You know, the Syracuse team is into their bench a little bit. The main offensive weapon, Girard, is out right now. So if you want to make a comeback, this is your chance. You got to start chipping away at this lead now.
To the foul line. 10 seconds to shoot. Dolan trying to find some room. Foul line J is good.
They'll give you that shot all game long if you take it.
Talking to Coach Earl before the game, he definitely expected the pace of this game to be slowed down as an unforced error there by Mintz. I think he wanted a lob there, but Edwards not ready for it.
Coach Boeheim's telling his guys timeout. He saw your freshman guard throw a left-hand pass. He's like, calm down, young fella.
Syracuse timeout.
14-point lead for the Syracuse Orange. Cornell trying to charge back. 66-52 lead for the Orange. Derek Jones and Randolph Childress with you from the JMA Wireless Dome. It's been a half of basketball that has been dominated by Syracuse, but also, too, helped along by a significant scoring drought for Cornell that saw them miss on 21 out of 22 field goal attempts.
I joked with Coach Earl that if he needed me, I could come out there and make a couple shots with him. I didn't think he'd really need me.
Brian Earl, one of the greatest three-point shooters in the history of the Ivy League. As a member of the Princeton Tigers, guys like you and him would salivate at playing in this era.
Well, I told him I would have loved to play for him.
Yeah.
You know, I told him that. I would have flat out loved to play for him. I mean, the way he lets his guys play and get up shots.
Ragland for 3.
A lot of time left. And this is the time you want to make games interesting. This team is accustomed to pressing and getting after you a little bit here. And I expect Girard to get to the scorer's table and get in this game if Syracuse doesn't find a way to get a basket here.
That ends a personal drought for Ragland. He had missed on his first 8 field goal attempts. got 3. 5 to shoot for Mintz. Mintz, floater, got it.
That's such a difficult shot there by the freshman. It's just what no one touches the ball. He dribbles out the clock, but he's efficient enough to get to a spot and makes a basket.
Keller Boothby from the corner knocks it down. The lead at 10.
You live by the 3, you die by the 3. They died by the 3 early, and now they're starting to come alive here after such a long shooting drought. It's a lot of time left.
Hard to believe at one point, if you're just hopping into this game, that Cornell was actually in front by 11 in the first half as Copeland kisses the window for 2.
Well, there, Copeland, another one of the young freshmen just coming in, finding a way to contribute to this team. And
down low, Edwards with the block. They're able to save the ball to Edwards, and now the action will flow the other way. Into the front court for Torrance, and it's thrown away. So a break for Cornell with 3:33 left to go. Need a couple of threes to get back into this game, down by 12. Presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. Back inside the Dome, 70-58 lead for Syracuse. Derek Jones and Randolph Childress with you as we take you down the home stretch, and three-point shooting has been one of the big storylines in the game and also off the air as well between Randolph and I, as we made some predictions beforehand about how many attempted three-pointers would be made. As you can see, one person is losing that bet decisively.
I'm like the crowd that yells when there's a Chick-fil-A sandwich when they miss 2 free throws. That was me with the threes. They got in the 30s. I'm yelling like, come on.
They are now, Cornell just one off of the program record for attempted threes. Check that 2 off as a loose ball foul coming up. They have 47 three-point attempts as the program record. Interestingly enough, last year in the 12-point loss to Syracuse here in the Dome, and it looks like they are going to eye up that record and potentially go reasonably north of it as Bell sinks in the free throw.
They may get 50 before it's all said and done today. But this is how they play. I mean, they've actually slowed things down because they didn't want to rush to take quick shots against Syracuse. And again, the zone defense for them just stepped up. They got active, started getting deflections and having the presence of Edwards inside and him just really commanding that paint in the second half. And credit to Malik Brown. His minutes have just been great.
Hansen tries to fake out the defense, can't do it there, gets it back, puts it in. Sean Hansen with the bucket. It's a 12-point game. Torrance, double team. Head to Bell. Bell, the lob for Edwards. 2 more.
Edwards gets the dunk there, but great job by Samir. Torrance just being strong with the ball, taking on the trap.
That would have tied the program record, but Greg Dolan had his foot on the back line. A turnover for Cornell. Jesse Edwards closing in on a double-double. He's got 9 points along with 11 rebounds.
Great job by Torrance again. Just taking on the pressure, throwing it over top of the defense now. His presence with the ball in his hands allows you to slide Girard off the ball, and he's another gifted guard that can get in the paint.
Torrance can't get that little teardrop to go. Backdoor cut by Dolan. The feed, the kick out, the 3 way off from Watson. And that's into the hands of Torrance. And that should be the tie for the program record for three-point attempts. Down the floor to Williams. Williams hopping in the lane, banks it in.
Nice finish by the sophomore from St. Andrews High School in Potomac, Maryland. I had a privilege of recruiting him. Couldn't keep him from the Orangemen, and you see why.
Keller Boothby back in. Ragland back in as well. And this has to be a deflating experience for Brian Earl in this second half. His team, preseason number 5 in the Ivy League. They reached the Ivy League tournament last season, lost a heartbreaker to the Ivy League regular season champion, Princeton. But once again, Cornell undeterred. 7-2 coming in, both losses coming to ACC teams. This one lobbed in to Ragland. A kick out for Williams. Down low.
Well, I don't know how many Ivy League teams has a Jesse Edwards controlling the paint. And so I from seeing them now, I don't know. I would think they're going to place a little higher than 5th. They just seem to have so much depth and so many options, and they're going to be a tough out in any league. And tonight, this score is not indicative of how this game was early. And credit to Syracuse turning things up.
Including that guy right there with the basketball, Joe Girard. Now Williams, his jumper's no good. The rebound controlled by DJ Nix, who's into the game for the first time. Cooper Nord, the 3 is in, and the 3 is also a program record for most three-pointers attempted in a game by a Cornell team. Attempt 48 on the day. Adam Sang Hinton making his first appearance.
Yeah, they're clearing their bench now. They're going to continue to play the clock out.
Bell in the corner, 33 seconds left to go. We talked to a lot of folks coming into this game. There was definitely some concern about the Cornell Big Red dealing with Syracuse. And there you go. Jesse Edwards gets the double-double with that bucket. What a performance in the second half for him. 11 points, 12 rebounds. He had 1 point at halftime.
And 4 rebounds. Now he's up to 12. I mean, he and Malik Brown controlling the inside has been a big help to Syracuse kind of pushing away.
A block down low by Edwards, and that will do it. An emphatic end to a comeback by the Syracuse Orange. They win it 78-63. An impressive defensive performance in half 2.
Yeah, you see the overall adjustment by Syracuse in that zone. We talked about it. Cornell came out firing from 3 early, spreaded that defense out. Syracuse made adjustments to it, got them to run them